Hello everyone! Welcome back! And if this is the first time that we meet, hello, my name is Sadie, and I currently am in Bangor, Maine, and this is my Flosstube channel. This is where I mainly discuss cross-stitch, and I also discuss some sewing projects that I do. Right now I've mainly been doing project bags, and I have a few new ones that I will show here as well. I also am very excited because I have a finish and I had my very first vintage cross-stitch find. So that was really excited for me. So I've got those couple of things. I do have a few starts that we'll go over, and this is my first time recording on my computer now because my phone is where I keep all my notes, and I was recording with my phone, but I wanted something to look at to kind of keep me on track. So we'll see how this goes. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So I'm really excited because I really want to show you the find that I got. And I think in previous videos you've noticed that I chat and then I show you the product. So I'm just going to show it to you and then I'll tell you the story. So I hope you guys are ready. But this was a find that I had. We'll do it this way. I had it a couple of weeks ago. It is a completed Teresa Wentzler. Oh, that laptop is really not doing it, huh? Hers is the Magical Night, and it's completely framed. It is very vintage. Based off of the back, it looks like it was completed in 1995. I'll try to post like the cross-stitch pattern picture, but I am absolutely enjoying what it looks like. I'll try to go here on the side. See if I can get close so that way you can see her. I saw this up on Facebook Marketplace. I was just looking mainly to see if there were any out-of-print memorabilias or like any lavender and lace patterns that people were selling. And then she showed up on the feed, and guys, you won't believe it, she got sold. She was sold for $25. They were asking for $25! And I was like, no, this can't be. And thankfully they were in Portland, which was 2 hours away from me, and I thought 2 hours is worth it. I made a half day of it. And I met the lady, and she was super nice. Essentially, her sister made it for her daughter. So, like, an aunt made it for a niece back in the 90s. And now that daughter is in her late 30s with her own kids, but they're both boys. And she didn't want to keep it, and she told her mom she wasn't going to use it for the kiddos' room, so yeah, she sold it. I went, oh my gosh, I wanted it because I hear people talking about some of these cross-stitch patterns and these designers that are, right, like the ultimate, people call them the pillars of cross-stitch. And I've reached a point, I know I'm not that old, but I have reached a point in my life where I just understand that I'm not going to get to everything. And I felt like that with hobbies in general. Like, my passions are cross-stitch, sewing with the sewing machine, and like art, drawing and stuff. I've wanted to consider knitting and crocheting, and I've bought in books on those years past, but I just don't have the time, and I love cross-stitching and sewing so much that I just want to be able to focus my passion on that. And so I actually gave those books away to my colleagues, to friends that actually do those hobbies, because I just went, you know what, you guys would enjoy it so much more than it just sitting and collecting dust. And so now I'm feeling that with cross-stitch, because I love memorabilia, and I want to sew multiples of her, or stitch multiple of her designs, and there are new designers that are coming out, and different designs that attract me so much, but I know when I've heard and I've seen the designs of a Teresa Wentzler, and how much detail comes into that, I've, made my peace with it, and I said, you know what? I do not think I'm going to stitch one of her pieces. And that made me feel so okay. And the fact that I found this piece, I just went, you know what? I'm super happy. I'm happy that I own a piece of hers that someone else stitched and lovingly gave it to a family member that they couldn't use it anymore or felt like they didn't have a use for it. So yeah, someone who loves cross stitch bought it from the person. I'm gonna say that is going to be my one Teresa Wentzler piece, and I am happy. So I've put her to rest with me, and I just want to continue working on the projects that I have, and goodness, hopefully continue trying to do more Mirabilias as the years and the decades go on. So that was my vintage find that I was super excited, and I just had to show off the bat. All right, the next one that I have is my finish, and I did this one. I felt really fast. It is the Amanita Bistro by Forest Embroidery. Pretty much it's the frogs and the mushrooms, and I'll show it for you guys here. I feel like when I look down, it looks like I'm kind of looking down, but then I look up, so I know I'm looking at the camera. You'll see me flip around. All right, so here they are. Look at them! Oh my gosh, I am so excited with how they came out. And I was super happy with the colors that I've got. Like that really light blue of the top mushrooms. This one right here is the Karen Water Lilies Celadon. I personally enjoy the fact that I chose that color, because I essentially did full conversion. I didn't buy the Forest Embroidery threads, and I believe I'm gonna actually stick with these colors because they keep the same color selection for the other 4. I think they have a total of 4 or 5 scenes, and I'll put pictures because I bought them. I originally bought 2. I bought this one, and then I bought the Morel movie theater. But then they came out with an oyster mushroom play, like there's a Shakespeare scene, something like that. And then the other one is just with a big leaf, like toadstools, like toads having tea. And I'm gonna do something that seems so cliche and so, like 90s or vintage, but I want to turn them into a patch of pillows. Like, I can see this totally being on the front of a pillow with the ruffles and just looking all puffy and having 4 of them just on my couch. Those would be my display pieces on the couch. And I think it would look cute. So my goal is to do all 4 of them and then turn them into pillows. The next one that I will likely do, I don't think I'm going to start anytime soon because I'm trying to work through some of my current whips, and I've got my starts, which has become a thing now. But again, like I mentioned, that I'm combining the stitching and art world together. And so the next time I'll likely bring out the Forest Embroidery frogs again will be in February. Because in the art world, February is also Funguary. And I believe that was developed first by FIFO. That's how she goes by on Instagram. And at that time, it's similar to like Mermaid and Inktober, where she's come up with prompts that are mushroom related, and people can just draw either the actual mushrooms, or people have done fashion drawings inspired by the mushrooms of the week or of the day that are picked. So I am going to pick one of those scenes and sew them for Funguary. So it'll be a few months till you see me work on another one again. So that was my finish. Now I do have a few, I'm just pulling it up, a few starts. Yeah, all 3 of these are, all 3 of these are new starts. And one of them is for Nora November that I talked about last time. The other one that I started, I'll pull up here, is Plague Nurse. And I'm glad I got her started. With her kind of feeling like it's an obligation to do instead of something that I want to do. I think because it is a Christmas gift and I feel the time crunch. It's November. I've only got 6 weeks, and I don't think it'll take 6 weeks to complete, but I'm feeling that slog of just having to get it done. Thankfully, it's not that big. So I'll put a picture of what it looks like, but it's a pattern by Night Spirit Studio, and it's a freebie. They did it during the time of COVID, and I'm gonna change on the date. It shows 2020. Yeah, that was COVID time. I'm gonna try to design and change it to 2024. But this is what I've got so far. And this is essentially similar to the one that I did previously, to the dumpster fire. It is on a 14 count waist canvas, that's the white, stitched over a black kitchen towel. And so right now it's been a little bit interesting because it is all grays right now. Yeah, it's supposed to look like a nurse with the plague mask, and it's just all whites and grays. Thankfully, since it's a black towel, it will show up once I pull all the threads out of the waist canvas. Right now, I'm just trying to keep track. I use Pattern Keeper, and I'm trying to just make sure to keep track on there that I'm stitching the grays where they need to stitch. And also for the person that I'm stitching this for, I'm changing the skin color and hair color to match her. She's a bit more fair than the one in the picture. So I'm using... So Night Spirit Studio was nice enough to include on the bottom of the pattern some options of how to change the skin and hair color. And I believe they took it from Sir Libidon, who... He's the one, he has out there free patterns of all the Pokemon and their generations. And I corrected myself because I talked about this last time too. He made from Generation 1 to Generation 8. Like, he cross-stitch designed all the Pokemon so that you can cross-stitch them by generation, or you can do the epic Pokemon, which is all of the Pokemon from Generation 1 to 8 on one big pattern. I want to do the Generation 1. Like, that was my time. That was when I was obsessed with Pokemon. I love the evolutions, and I know the newer ones were sprinkled in the other generations. I'll probably cross-stitch those at a separate time, and I clump those together all the time. But when it comes to just Pokemon, Generation 1 was my generation. So I know I want to stitch that one at some point, and I have it. But this was Night Spirit Studios Plague Nurse. I digress from I'll have tangents, but I'll come back. I'll have circumferential speech. And I did it in a new bag of mine. I'm considering it my Halloween scrap bag, because these are just scraps. And then I made a mistake with it. It's not visible. But the original parts of this was supposed to be that the back, which is the Alice in Wonderland Tula Pink. So that, it was supposed to be the inner lining. And the inner lining that's here with the Grinch and the other designs, that was supposed to be on the outside. But I got my ins and my outs mixed up, so thankfully it's still Jack Skellington in the front. That was like one of the main things. But it still, I think, looks cute. So I call the mistake is what it is. And I will still enjoy the bag. So that's where Plague Nurse is. The other new start that I have is the Nora November one. So I talked last time that for Nora November, wanted to start like a true Nora Corbett brand pattern. And so I wanted to start my Zodiac series. And I started with Sagittarius. Why specifically Sagittarius? I don't know. I mean, in my family, like, my mom is Sagittarius, so I don't know if I subconsciously picked for that. I don't know if I was actually thinking about Aries, because technically they're the first one in the series, and they're a fire sign and on this paper. But otherwise, I don't know. I picked fire and went with Sagittarius, and there we went. So I'll show the pattern here. Let's see. So this is it. And they're actually not that... So they do say, like, they're not big. And they really aren't that big. I feel like I got a good amount of progress on her. I started her on the 2nd of November, and I essentially made a copy of the pattern, so I'm doing it on paper, so I can't record how much I've done each day. And I don't feel like counting all the stitches as I stitch. At this point, I made my peace with that. I'm just going to go about it and try to finish it. I kind of calculated that if I really wanted to get Sagittarius done by the end of November, and say have good stitching 5 days a week, then I would have to do about 650 stitches a day. But I'm just going to see what I can get done. So, this is what we got. Let's see. Like I said, I feel like I got a good amount. And I've got Mamobot's Sagittarius needle minder there keeping company. So far, the middle of this project was near her mouth, and I am not used to starting in the face. It's been really interesting, and it's been cool to see, like, James the PH Stitcher. He stitches a bunch of Mirabilia and Bella Filipinas, and he usually starts around the face. And he usually completes the face and then works away from there. I've just always been comfortable with starting in the middle of a piece. And, yeah, it just so happens that this one was in the middle. And so, once I get I have to get the other threads for her face, but I think once I get those finished, I may do a similar process as him and backstitch her face already as I'm stitching the rest of it, so that way I've got something nice to look at. Sorry if it seems like I'm moving a lot. I'm moving my shoulders while we chat. I really like the hair where that bluish brown that's going through, that's a Karen Water Lilies, that's espresso, and I'll show the threads. But for each of these small pieces, Nora does ask for some Karen Water Lilies. Oops, sorry, I was burping while I was chatting. And so I've got them all clumped here. I am not the greatest with how I keep my threads. This just is what it is. And so let me see. I try to keep the tags and put them in as comfortable, but right now espresso is being actively used, and it's just become a knotted mess. Let's see if I can get them. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's gonna do a good job of showing, like, they have a good amount of browns and blues in them. And so those I've been doing. And then the arrows were interesting because it includes 2 different types of blues, but they're both variegated. And I thought they were just gonna blur each other out because in the pattern, they look like they come from the same thread. So it seemed really weird to have 2 different water lilies, which I'm guessing they're supposed to be able to be distinguished, but they kind of look like they come from the same thread in the pattern. But I just went with it. I said, you know, I'm going to trust the process. So one of them is this one, and this is Pine Forest. And this is supposed to be a mixture of like teal, blue, and some green. And then the other one is Bermuda Reef, so 207. And this one is more an aqua sea green. And I think when I show them to you like this, they both look the same, because they do. So with certain variations in them, they do blur. But so far, I think the way that I've been doing the stitching, I've been able to keep the variegation separate, so you can tell the difference. So I think it'll look good. And then it does have beading. A lot of the marigolds that are around Sagittarius, a lot of that is the beading. And so I think she's going pretty fast. And I'm enjoying working on her. And I have her in one of my zombie pinup bags that I absolutely enjoy. One of my colleagues liked it a lot, but thankfully I have 3 other colleagues that love spooky stuff. So that's this one. And then last but not least of my whips is the new Sal that Bella Filipina started, which is the Blackwater Sirens. And I didn't think I was going to do it. I've been trying to limit myself with some of the Sals that are out there. And I still haven't finished their first sale of the Mermaids with the seasons. I done 2, so I'm 50%. I just need to do autumn and winter. But when I saw the design, like the outline of what this one was gonna be, and it's mermaids, and I absolutely love mermaids. And I just went, I have to. So I started it. I didn't get the call for fabric, but this was a new one for me as well, where I got this fabric from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and I showed it last time, where it just was absolutely perfect. So I did this one on Melancholic Autumn. This is the page 32 count linen. And the fabric that I'm doing the Sagittarius on is from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. It's Fire Dancer 32 count linen. So 32 count is really my sweet spot. That's the one I feel really comfortable with. And but I did order from Under the Sea Fabrics. I got the beads from there. This is for all of them. Whew. Look at all those. And then I did get the Treasure Parade from there. Let's see. Okay. Mind you, I have a really small start. I don't know how other people do it. There are some people that they're already done with part 1, which was the treasure chest. And it's small. It looks doable to be part 1. But other people are done. I just haven't put that much time because I've been putting more of my effort on Plague Nurse and on Sagittarius. But I need to put some work in this one too. Alright. So remember, this one's a big one. And in the middle of my needle minders is that start. I am trying to make sure that, yep, I see where it is now. It's just the brown. Just the brown there. And thankfully that was all that color needed. So I finished that color and I went and got the rest of the threads that I needed for this. I think I'm just going to buy the threads as I go. Like, as needed. So I got the ones that I need for the treasure chest. So now I can work on that. And I have her in this absolutely gorgeous bag that I made. I made it the same weekend that I made my Halloween one. But this one, I don't think I messed up. I think it turned out great. Look at it. Isn't it awesome? I am so excited for it because it is that concept where the front is fabric. Look at those mermaids. Aren't they beautiful? Look at them. And then the background is jellyfish, but this is vinyl. Got jellyfish, and then the back of this is the rest of that design, that mermaid design. And then the binding is mermaid scales, so similar as to where the zipper is. I am absolutely in love with this. I think it's super cute. So that's where I have the Blackwater Sirens. Very appropriate. Let me put them there. Alrighty. So those were my whips. I think I'm trying to think. The only other, like, newish thing that I did was, I don't know if I showed this project bag, and if I did, I'm sorry. But it is my Sailor Moon bag that I'm super excited about. Isn't it cute? They're so cute. They're all the chibis. And I picked some strawberries. It's a little smaller than what I would like. I feel like the perfect size, the one that I was super comfortable with, is this one. This one I felt really comfortable with. This one's about, I want to say about maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch smaller. But it still fits things in it. So I'm not going to complain. I think it turned out great. And I have more fabric that I can mess around with and make some of the bigger ones for Sailor Moon. But I was really excited. So those were those projects. Alright, let me think what else. From here, I can go over kind of my plans, but also mentions. I think we can do that. I've been watching a lot of Flosstube, and I'm just not in the mood to start like serious series. And I try to watch some series with my boyfriend, but he's currently in Ohio, and so they're on pause. And when they're on pause, then I go back to Flosstube. I've been doing Bob's Burgers and Flosstube, so it's been a mixture between the two. I like to come back to something lighthearted after work. So with Flosstube, I've seen a couple of new people, and I've been seeing some of my regulars. A couple of the new ones for me were Kat from Whittier Stitches, which she is the one that I won the Periwinkle Mermaid project bag. That was all kitted up with the Periwinkle Mermaid pattern. And then she made a recap of the Queen City Stitch Retreat and mentioned me, which I appreciated. And so I say go check that out, because I think she did a better job than I about discussing how the retreat was. And then she actually has a really good video with pictures of what the Stitching Kitten looked like, which is the LNS that opened up for the Queen City Stitch Retreat. So I didn't go. I wanted to explore Charlotte a little bit more before I left, but I would go check her out to see what the store looked like. So I saw that. And then I feel like I'm late in the game with some of these people. It was Wicked Cat Stitch. And I like her attitude. I love her projects. I like when she makes like quotes about different movies, because I absolutely love them. Like when she made the quote with the caterpillar in the labyrinth, I probably squealed. Because I absolutely love that movie. And she was mentioning like her whips. She went through a lot of her whips. And I haven't seen my Long Dog sampler pattern done a lot. The You Belong to Me, the Egyptian one. And she pulled it out. And she was working. I'm like, no way. I go, we like very similar things, and she's working on this. So I'm definitely going to continue watching her channel, because if we have those similar interests, then likely the patterns that she's going to be stitching and starting will be similar ones to me, and it may enable me to start some new projects. So I've been watching those two. One that I've recently been watching that I've been really getting into is Cross Stitch the Globe. Again, a very popular one out there, but I hadn't really gotten into it. And so it's been cute watching Stephanie and Allison. Like, I like the fact that they're sisters and they found this passion together that they are sharing with the world. And so they've been cool to watch. Of course, they did a Mirabilia whip parade, and I had to watch it, and it was fantastic. And in it, I appreciated how real they were, and especially Allison. I wanted to say, Allison, you're not alone, and I appreciate that you have to take some time. There's some time off, some time away, to just put the passion on pause if it's been bothering you. So don't feel bad. So I've been trying to keep up. I've subscribed to them, and I'm just keeping up with their videos as well. Got those. The other one that I've been watching a lot is Andrew the Running Stitcher. And I've been watching for both reasons, right? For the running and the stitching. I like to dabble in trying to do a 5K here and there. I love walking, and so it's been cool to see a person combine both. Combine the running with the stitching. And I've been enjoying his projects. He is getting me to kind of want to do a food project. I found one out there. I have to see. There's been like some sweets, and there's been some savory items. I'll post them here when I feel like I'm gonna pick something, but I may do a food pattern at some point. And then he mentioned, which I saw one of her videos about Cat Stitching Chronicles, and exactly about the same problem with the Autumn Mermaid in the Filipina design about her skin. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, and don't get us wrong. Like, his designs are absolutely beautiful. Like, Drin's designs of the Bella Filipina dolls, of the mermaids, the fairies, the characters that he does, they're gorgeous, and I want to stitch them, and I have multiple of his patterns. And I'm doing that Sal. But there was something about that skin. So I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that felt like that. And that people have been able to find a different version of the skin that isn't exactly the same as the summer or spring, but that is a bit better than gray. So I'm gonna do the similar thing, and it just gave me hope, and it gave me a little bit more motivation to bring out that pattern back, so that, because now I know, okay, it looks gorgeous with the edited skin, I will do that. And so I will, and I'll probably use I'll try to use the conversions that I had from the Sir Libidon for the Night Spirit Studio, because they look pretty good. So I'll see how those turn out. I'll see when I pull Mermaid of the Seasons out so that I can get Autumn done. But I thought those were really cool too. Let's see. Alright, got those. And then at this point, I would say plans for November is, I'm going to continue stitching on Sagittarius as much as I can. I don't know if I want to, like, if I somehow miraculously finish her, I think I'm going to stop there. Like, I'm going to take the win, and then I'll wait when another, like, Zodiac season comes through, when I feel like I have enough time and enough, with my projects to be able to start another one, so that I can start, like, either Aries or Leo. Those are the other two that I got. And so, I'm just going to focus on Sagittarius for now. If, with her, I'm also going to get Plague Nurse. So Plague Nurse has to get done. That one, I'm probably going to try to get some good work in, so that the next time I see you in a couple of weeks, I can say that that's done. And hopefully then I can show you, like, all of them together, all three of the Kitchen towels, so that you can see them aligned together. There is a fourth one that I'm going to include. Maybe I'll consider starting that one. That I just wanted to finish the series, because there were 4 Kitchen towels, and there are 4 of us right now in this group at work that get together. And granted, I'm doing a present for each of them, but I go, well, then I might as well do one for me. And so the one that I'm going to do, I'll put here. I think it's called, like, Ghostly Princess. Who is it from? Oh my gosh. I don't think it's Needle Lot Designs, but I will post it here. But it's just a really cute ghost. It's a ghost with a little crown, and it's got some cute little designs on the bottom. Very simple. And I'll do it on the Kitchen towel on the waist canvas. But because the majority of it is white, I'm actually going to use for the first time the glow-in-the-dark white. We'll see how that goes, because I've heard people say that that is a bit harder to work on than just regular DMC thread. But in my mind, I'm thinking it can't be as bad as Krynic. Krynic is pretty hard sometimes. So maybe I'll do that. Finish Plague Nurse, and when I finish Plague Nurse, then I can work on the Ghostly Princess one. So I've got those. I definitely want to continue Mars. Like, in my mind, I'm just like, Mars is going to get done by December 31st. Like, it will get done, because she needs to be stitched up so that I can continue on with the next sailor. So she will get done. But at the same time of her getting done, I did kit up. And I do want to start Witchy Stitchers Nostalgia Tarot. She's been reigniting this passion of, like, Lisa Frank style patterns. And I just, it just pops up throughout my social media feed, throughout Instagram. And I actually liked, like, one of Andrew's whips that I think it's currently on pause, but it was, like, the Slumber Party, Nostalgia Slumber Party one. I don't know whose that is. I'll have to look through his videos again to see where that pattern is from. But that one looks really cute. And I would like to do that one too. But I did get all the stuff for the Nostalgia Tarot, because that's been pulling really hard at my nostalgia strings. And so I will show you where I have her, and I'll show you the fabric, because yes, I'm doing it on black fabric. And I mean, I was already having a hard time with that navy blue fabric for Shakes and Nora, but it looks good on black, so we'll see how that goes. It's a really big piece. It looks like a blanket. That's what it looks like, and it is linen. Ooh, I got it from 123 Stitch. Ooh, I'm looking at the holes and I think it's a 32. I think it's a 32 count. If not, I will put something different. But look at how big this is. I don't think this is how big the actual project is. I don't think so. But when I did the measurements, because Witchy Stitcher put, I think she just put for like extra care. She was like, you gotta put 4 inches around the border. Make sure that you've got enough room in the border. Normally I put like 2 inches, which who knows, that'll probably bite me in the butt when it comes to actually wanting to frame some of my projects. So I just got a lot because she kind of scared me with that. But this project, I'll put a picture of the frame because I do want to start the frame. And at the same time as starting the frame, I am getting kitted up High Priestess because she already puts in her version of the frame the recommended places to place the Major Arcana cards. And so I want to continue doing that and putting them in those respective places. And at the top, I think the third one is High Priestess. And since that one has come out, that's the one that I'm going to start with. So probably at the same time that I'm working on the frame, I'll be working on her. So you'll probably see a start of her at the next video. Oh, this is going to get very interesting. I had my book here just to make sure with the notes, but I think my phone did a good job with keeping me on track. All right. I think this video is long enough, but thank you for listening to me, and I hope you guys are having a good day. I know today was the day after the election. That is all I am going to say. And it actually got a little warm here today. So that was nice. So I'm going to head out, go walk, just try to decompress from my day because it's going to be a little stressful for tomorrow and Friday. And then I get to have this weekend off. So I'm just going to veg out and probably clean a little bit at the same time. Well, so I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you guys are continuing to have a great Nora November or stitching all your autumn stitches. And I will see you next time. Have a good night.